What's going on, gents? Today we are talking the best cards that you should target early on in NHL 25 as you're working up towards your charged up X Factor McDavid, as you're working up towards your power up icon Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux, as you're working up towards those 86 overall team builders. And let's start with the base X Factors you should look for. Now let's start with the best center of the bunch. That's going to be Nico Hischier at 6'1". He's got good size, he's got good skating, decent shooting, pretty good hands, and great defensive metrics. If you can activate two-way forward, which is a pretty common one early on, and you only need 4 players on your squad, you're going to get his faceoffs all the way up to 83, which is pretty darn good as well early on. And he's got a good ability with Silver Born Leader. But if you're looking for a winger, I would highly recommend this Cole Caulfield card. He's got Sniper Forward and Silver Snappy. Amazing skating, really good agility, good excel, good speed, really good shot, great hands. He is obviously on the smaller side, but at this point in the game, the skating, the speed, the shot is most important. And I've used this card, I've really enjoyed him, and I feel like he plays even better than his stats suggest. And then after that, players like Elias Pettersson, Robert Thomas, and Lucas Raymond would be the next tier of cards I would go after. But the other 3 players on this bottom row, I would pretty much only recommend making for the set to trade in. Next up, let's take a look at the modern power-up icon base cards. And we're going to start with Rod the Bod Brind'Amour here. He's got great face-offs at 86 overall. Again, if you can get that two-way forward active, that's 87. That's one of the best face-off cards in the game right now. He also has Silver Born Leader. You can also get him up to an 83 overall for basically free. You can rent that 83 slot with 1 icon token that you can get back, and that goes for basically all the icons here that we're going to talk about. At 83 overall, he's got okay excel, but really good speed at 88 overall, good endurance, and he's got some pretty good weight at 6'1", 205. Nothing really stands out on this card past the face-offs, the speed, and the endurance, but he's going to be a really good center early on. Now, if you need a winger, I would recommend this Martin St. Louis card. Kind of a similar build to the Cole Caulfield. Obviously, Martin St. Louis is going to be a lefty. He is definitely a pure winger. He's got great superstar ability with silver elite edges, great skating. He's got 94 endurance, which is one of the highest I've seen out of any car in the game right now. Decent enough hands. Really what's going to set this card apart is the great skating ability with elite edges as well. Early on, his size isn't going to be as much of a deficit. So I've used this card. I really liked it. I would really recommend it. And if you need a defenseman, this Sergei Gonchar card looks pretty amazing at 6'2", 210. He's got great size. He's got a good superstar ability with Silver Heat Seeker. He's got great skating for someone his size, 87 excel, 86 endurance, 88 speed, 87 agility. He's got decent enough shooting, decent enough hands, and his defensive metrics could leave you wanting a little bit more. But again, early on, the size, the speed, the skating is going to be attributes that I would focus on first and foremost. Next up, we'll move on over to the vintage hologram cards. And again, we'll start with a center, and that's going to be 6'3" Mike Modano. He's got silver wheels, he's got two-way forward and great skating, 89 excel, 87 speed, good enough shooting, good defensively. The only thing that really leaves you wanting more, since he's got a great center build, he's only at 77 faceoffs, 78 with two-way forward active. That's probably just a little bit too low if you're really looking for a good center card, but I've used him at center. Unfortunately, you kind of have to do tie-ups a lot. I've also used him on the wing. He is a good card, and I would recommend using this card for the time being as you're working up towards your next better power-up icon. And on defense, I would target this Paul Coffey. Good size, great skating, good shooting, good hands, and he's easily the best defenseman card out of the modern base power-up icons. Last but not least, we'll check out a couple wingers. This Maurice Richard card is phenomenal. Great skating with silver wheels, 89 excel, 89 speed, 91 endurance, all amazing. Really good shooting, decent hands. This card has been phenomenal for me as my top 6 winger card. The size, again, at this point in the game isn't an issue, and what's most important is the skating, and he is very, very good at that. And then lastly, we got kind of a right-handed version, similar size, similar skating. He does have Silver Snappy instead, and, you know, technically Pat LaFontaine is a center, but he's only got 77 faceoffs, so he's more of a righty on the wing, in my opinion. Good shooting, good hands. Similar build early on that's going to be very, very effective. Now moving on to the 83 team builders that you should target first and foremost as you're working towards that 86. You're going to need 6 of the 83 players to trade in to turn into 186. So you might as well make a few that you can actually use on your squad as you're working up towards that next level. And we'll start with the Seattle selection. That's going to be Oliver Bjorkstrand. He's got decent size with great skating, good shooting, great hands, and he's not horrible defensively. Next up, we have Daniel Briere, another smaller speed type player who's going to be very effective early on. Good shooting, great hands. He could actually play center with 83 draws. I don't know if you want a player with that size playing center due to the defensive responsibilities, but center, wing in your bottom 6. This card has some versatility and is definitely usable. And then we have a really good option at center in Brian Little. So right off the bat, we'll look at his faceoff. Start at 84. You can make that an 85. He's got great skating. He's got good size. Wrist shot power is 90. Slap shot power is 88. Again, early on, the power seems to be more of a factor when it comes to beating these goalies. So this card could be a great addition to your squad, and it's definitely a card that I'm going to look to when I start building my team builders. There are a few other cards that would be usable. We're not going to talk about too much, but I want to point out this Brendan Shanahan, the Brad Richards card, and this Dylan Guenther card. All of which I would consider kind of more mid, but could definitely make your squad. And gents, that's going to conclude this video. Let me know in the comments if there's anyone that I missed or anyone that is surprisingly good that you're using on your squad. Also, let me know who you're targeting first. Are you going after that Connor McDavid X Factor? Are you going after the power up icons? Are you focusing on team builders? Right now, I'm going to try to do a little bit of everything once the auction house kind of calms down a bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like if you enjoy, if you want to see more videos like this in the future. See you next time.